there, it's Cristin from Sono, Brio, Quick Health Tip, and the Pre-Pregnancy Plan. I'm so excited about today's video because if eating kale every single day isn't already on your list of top health to-do goals, it really should be because it's a complete nutrition powerhouse. It's loaded with beta-carotene and vitamin C and potassium, and my reason for eating it mostly is that it's really full of vitamin K and magnesium, and those are both nutrients that most Americans are deficient in. So I try to eat kale every single day, and today I'm going to show you 2 ways to eat it that are fantastic and easy and really quick and taste delicious. And there's actually a 3rd bonus recipe on this video as well, so it's a complete YouTube bonanza day of awesome recipes. So the first one we're going to start with is this curly kale, and the one I picked up today is a red curly kale. There's also a green variety at the store, so either one you see works great for kale chips. And we're just going to start by tearing the leaves off the stems, because for kale chips you don't want to use the stems in there because they won't dehydrate quite as well as the leaf, and you won't get that chip texture that you're looking for. So I'm just going to tear the leaves off the stems, and then we'll wash them up. Alright, so now that all of the kale leaves are torn off the stems, it's time to wash them up. But first I just want to show you exactly what this red kale looks like, so a little bit closer up. You can see that it's got a purple stem, and it's a pretty dark green color. So red doesn't mean it's actually red. I'm not sure why they call it that. They should call it curly kale with purple stems. But I guess that's too long to say at the grocery store. So that's red kale. Green kale is what I usually use for kale chips, but they didn't have it at the store today, so that works great too. But you do want to get the curly one for the chips. So now we get to wash them up using my favorite tool in the kitchen, my salad spinner. This is the best thing ever. If you don't have one, you should definitely get one. I don't know how I lived so long without a salad spinner, because now it's like my favorite thing ever. And it looks like I missed one leaf, so I'm just going to tear all these leaves off. And you don't have to worry about having them all the same size. It totally doesn't matter. Some chips can be really big and some can be kind of smaller. It's totally fine because they're all just going to dehydrate up in the oven. So now I'm just sticking my salad spinner, I'm going to show you this actually, strainer, which everything goes into, and then the bowl. So you can put it all together, fill it up with water, which takes a little while because it's a nice big bowl. So we'll just wait. Almost full. Okay, so once it's full of water, you just take the bowl and you kind of move everything around a little bit with your hand, just to kind of get any sort of debris or dirt that might be left in the kale to float down to the bottom. So just kind of agitate it a little bit. And then I'm going to try to do this without making a mess, but I do want you to see it. You just kind of drain all the water out and then dump the water out from the bowl. And now it's time to spin. So back in it goes, lid goes on top, and give it a nice spin to get all that water off. That should do it. There's a little button to stop it from spinning so fast so you can dump the water out. Okay, so all of that water and any dirt that might have been on the kale goes away. So now we've got nice dry leaves, which is important for kale chips because it will help it take less time, because if the leaves are already dry, then it takes less time to dehydrate completely. So now we're just putting them on the baking sheet, which I usually line with foil just because it's an easier cleanup. And try to get them into a single layer, but you know, don't worry too much about it, because it's all going to dehydrate. So just spread them out on the baking sheet, and then we'll season it. So drizzle with a little bit of olive oil all over, and then salt them. So if you have watched my other videos, you know I always use a colored salt. This one's a pink salt. I also like gray salts. just because I don't like using the white salt, which has the extra minerals stripped of it. This is a full mineral profile salt, and it's much better for you than white salt. None of that white trash. So now that that's all seasoned, you could just leave it as so and put it in the oven and let them dehydrate, and then you've got a really simple, delicious kale chip. But today, I think I'm going to use this Thai seasoning that I had in my pantry. It's totally all natural. All it has in it is sesame seeds, chili pepper, coriander, onion, red pepper, garlic, cinnamon, and nutmeg. So that sounded pretty good, and I thought I might try to flavor them up that way today. And this is what's fun about this. You can switch it up every time you make them. Sometimes I use, a favorite of mine is lemon zest, fresh lemon zest. You just zest right off the lemon, and curry powder. They taste really great together. That's another favorite. Nutritional yeast is great because it adds some nice B vitamins for you. And it has actually like a little bit of a cheesy flavor. It's quite good. So now I'm just tossing it around with my hands to get everything coated. And they're going to go in the oven. It's 200 degrees, quite low, because all we're doing is dehydrating the kale. We want to keep most of the nutrition intact. So it's going in, and it's going to take about an hour to dehydrate completely.
Well, I was sitting, waiting, wishing you believed in.
All right, it's taste time. Let's see how this Thai seasoning turned out. Can you hear that crunch? I think just by the crunch sound you can tell that it's really good. Okay, so those kale chips are great to make ahead on the weekend, a nice big batch for the week to take to work with you or to pack in kids' lunches. Believe it or not, kids actually devour those things. They love them. And now I want to show you one that you can have as a side dish with dinner. And I eat this salad almost every single night for dinner, every single weeknight that we're home and we're eating dinner. It's just such a great salad, and it's so easy to put together. So what I'm using for this one is called dino kale. Sometimes you see it called black kale in the store. And I prepared it the exact same way that I prepared the curly kale for the chips. So I tore all the leaves off the stems, washed it, dried it in the salad spinner, and now it's all in here. And this is what the dino kale looks like as a whole leaf. So it's a little darker in color, it doesn't have those curls on the edges, and it works perfectly for salad. So some of you might be thinking, oh, I would never want to eat kale as a salad. It's so tough and fibrous. It's not like my baby spinach that I like, my arugula, romaine. Those are such nice tender leaves. There is a way to make this tender, and here's the trick. So what you're going to do is just drizzle a little bit of olive oil, you don't need a lot, just to get it going on the kale. And one bunch of kale at the store is perfect for 2 people for a side salad with dinner. So the olive oil on top and then a little bit of salt. And here's the big trick. This is what's going to make kale tender enough to eat as a salad. So all you do is you just massage it with your hand. And the olive oil and salt kind of help it break down a little bit along with the massage. So I'm just kind of picking it up, giving it a little squeeze, and making sure I get all of it. And this is breaking down the fibers in the kale and making it much softer and more like the texture of those typical salad greens that you would have. But you still get all of the extra nutrition that you get in kale, which is awesome. So typically the rule is the darker the green, the more nutritional benefit to it. So I do this for about 30 seconds to a minute. You can just, once you do it a few times, you get used to feeling out, what the kale should feel like. So as soon as it starts to feel tender to you and like something you might actually want to eat raw, then it's good to go. So that feels pretty good to me. Just want to get all that excess kale off my hands, get the stragglers that fell out back into the bowl. And bonus recipe number 3 that I'm going to do is the dressing. And it's totally true, if you've heard it before, once you start making your own salad dressings at home, you will never ever go back to buying them in a store. They taste so much better, they're much better for you, and they're really easy and quick. It doesn't take any time at all to make a salad. The best tool that you can have for this is a small mason jar. So this is perfect because you put all the ingredients in, put the lid on, shake it up, and you've got your salad dressing, that's it. It's so easy. So I've decided today to do a flavorful balsamic vinaigrette kind of dressing. So I've got my balsamic vinegar, a little bit of local honey, and some mustard. And I like that grainy mustard, but you don't have to use that. You can use any kind of mustard you like. And my local honey that we got in Washington, which is very close to where we live in BC, I got from a tiny little private farm, and it's great to eat local honey. It actually helps you with your seasonal allergies, so good thing to have around. So let's get started putting this together into my small mason jar. So first I'm going to do a half a tablespoon of each of these 3 ingredients. And the first one I'm going to put in is the balsamic. So half a tablespoon of that goes in. And I'm just going to rinse it so I can use the same tablespoon for my honey. Nice sticky lid for me. So half a tablespoon, just about, of my nice, beautiful honey goes in. And a good trick, which I didn't exercise this time, is to coat your spoon with olive oil. That will help the honey just slip right out. But once in a while you forget. So right back on, and then a half a tablespoon of my nice grainy mustard. This is going to help the dressing come together. The vinaigrette come together, which is a good thing. I just want to put a little bit of salt in there just to season it. And now I think I'll do 3 tablespoons of olive oil. So a good extra virgin. We've got 1, 2, and 3 going in. Lid goes on and we'll shake it up. Give it a nice shake. And this is just enough dressing, I think, for our kale salad, so 2 people, single serve, and that took no time at all. Once you get good at it, it's like too quick, you know, and probably cheaper than buying those bottles at the store too. So I'm just going to pour this all in, and I think I'll get a pair of tongs to toss it around. And another awesome thing about this salad is that this can sit with the dressing on it and it will not get super soggy like a regular salad. So I actually sometimes, if we have leftovers, we'll leave it until the next day and it's still good. So great for parties because you can dress it and leave it out on the table and your guests won't end up with a soggy salad at all. It's perfect. You can totally eat just like that. Usually I like to top it with a little crunch. So some nuts or seeds, toasted pumpkin seeds are great on here. Some walnuts, anything that you have in your fridge is good. And yeah, to keep nuts and seeds in the fridge, that's another tip to keep all those oils from going rancid on you. So there you go, 3 recipes: kale chips, kale salad, and that nice balsamic vinaigrette. So I hope that you'll try these and eat the kale salad for dinners and make the kale chips on the weekend to have as a healthy snack all week long. And I'll see you next time.